an excellent game. There's no other way to put it. He's played that way for a long time now. Made some really good saves. Shootout is indicative of his play. He's big. He's coming out and challenging. Rescued us when we made some mistakes. And in turn, I thought Rask did the same thing for their team. We had some good chances as well, and it was a good night for both goaltenders.
He looks like you're number one, and the way you're playing him like you're number one. Is he your number one?
I think it's getting awfully close right now to say that. The problem with completely declaring a number one guy is that you kind of push the other guy to the side, and we're not prepared to do that with Cam. We think he's a tremendous goaltender, and we're going to need him. He's going to have to work his way back into winning games, and he will. But when you flat out declare who your go-to guy is, it really pushes somebody down, and we're not prepared to do that. We want to bring him along.
Every game's a big game, yada, 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 but to come off a 5-game road trip like that one, especially with the game at the end of it, and to start a 5-game homestand when you're basically playing 5 more on the road than you have at home, just how important, and this team has had a horrid history of the first game back on the road. How big was that?
I guess it's good, again, that I don't know that history, but it's important. We weren't pleased at all with the way our road trip ended. There were some good moments on that road trip, but we weren't pleased at all with the way it ended in Toronto. And to come back and play an engaged game against a big physical team was something we needed. We got that for the most part. We still made mistakes. Again, we don't expect to be perfect, but I thought physically we were more in tune with what our opponents were throwing at us, and we accepted the challenge.
Did the name Peter Chiarelli come up pre-game?
No, it didn't, but I think that the players and the coaching staff are well aware he's a real important part of the team, and just like when we play against a former player's, his ex-team, everybody wants to pull up their socks a little bit, and I think we're all happy for Peter tonight.
You're allowed to roll your eyes on this question, but
no, not with yours, Jonesy.
Considering the football team was in the house with the Grey Cup, and especially considering you're from Saskatchewan, so but that's a team that 2 years ago was 4-14, and 10 years out of the play. There are a lot of similarities there. Yeah. They're carrying a cup out there.
Well, it's not a strange question. I was thinking that on the bench. I don't specifically know the Eskimos' history deep enough, but I do know they'd struggled before. We're all very, very proud and happy for them, obviously, and excited that they're part of our city and that they can bring a championship here. But if they can turn their program around with good leadership, good decisions, poised players, commitment level that's real high, that should be a good target for us as well. And we're working there. We're not there yet. I think that's evident, but we're working there, and maybe they can be a pretty good motivating tool.
Jordan said he couldn't believe he didn't bury a couple in game based on the chances he had, but feels like that overtime or that shootout goal is something that maybe he needed. What was your sense of his game tonight?
I thought he was better tonight than he had been. I think they say, people often say you got to get some chances before you come out of it, and Jordan had chances tonight. Yeah, he should have buried them, but he had some chances, more than he had in the past, and gave us some good minutes tonight. So that's a real positive sign. I still believe in Jordan Eberle, absolutely. How couldn't you? He is struggling coming out of it. Better tonight, 2 big shootout goals over the last 3 games, and that's an important piece.
How big a lift is the secondary scoring time? Because that was something that wasn't there the first time.
Well, just have to go back to the last set of points that we earned. It started in Detroit with Euro's 2 goals. You follow it up into tonight where Letestu and Matty Hendricks combined, shorthanded and even strength. Not only that, they were pretty effective penalty killing wise. So when their depth players contribute all over the rink as well as the score sheet, you have a real good chance of winning.
When you're up a goal late like that and you feel that other team, the momentum really shifting, what's happening on the bench? How do you maybe what isn't there from your players to push back and maybe not give up that
Well, the will to push back is there, the poise and the calmness isn't quite there yet. We're excited about getting close to a win, and we get a little edgy and a little fidgety, and sometimes don't make the right play. But that will come in time. We haven't experienced that enough to, we're much better at coming back than we are at holding the lead right now because we've worked on it a lot more.
I'm not sure how closely you follow the technical side of the goaltending position, but what have you seen in Nilsson in the last month? Because it gives your team a chance almost every night, and just your players talk about clearly how they have more faith. What have you seen as he emerges this year?
First of all, I see his size. He's an imposing figure in the net. He can be out of position and fill the net up. And I see him, his aggressiveness, his ability to come out and challenge, which takes away any of the other remaining portion of the net. Players are doing a good job around him for the most part in clearing the garbage out so he can be aggressive. And, just his confidence. He's an inch taller and 2 inches wider because he's that confident right now.
You had mentioned earlier how you wanted a guy to take that #1 job and run with it for a while. Do you feel he's doing that?
Well, I would say he's awfully close, yes. I think that he's doing a tremendous job of taking the ball. I think we're obviously showing that the way we're using him. But as I mentioned earlier, they were not prepared to anoint one or the other because they're both important. And Cam Talbot will play some real important games for us this year. And he'll play well. That's okay, Jace. That's okay. You asked it way more efficiently than Jonesy did, didn't he? Or was it Speck? Now Jonesy's rolling his eyes at me.
To Darnell Nurse, we don't really notice him as a rookie defenseman, which is probably the best thing, but are you surprised? You talked earlier about maybe the fidgety. Does he have more poise than maybe you expected? Is he showing that in the game? Because we don't really see the big mistakes or him kind of jumping out of his
No, I probably view it the same way you do. I can tell the way you asked the question. You can see him improving and more relaxed in a game. And, he feels – I can see Darnell standing up before his name is called. And that's a sign of a guy that's confident and he's ready to go. He wants to be on the ice, where some guys that aren't real sure of themselves, they kind of wait for their name to be called. He's already halfway up and his ass isn't on the bench anymore. And he's playing like that, so good for him.
Thank you, guys. Thanks a lot.